I welcome you all on Live Campus Learning for Life, Lifelong Learning. Today's program is very special and मैं सभी को एक बात बताना चाहता हूँ कि कुछ दिन पहले कुछ एक्सपेरिमेंट्स हुए थे पॉजिटिव हेल्थ जोन के अंदर चंद्र ग्रहण के दिन, लूनर एक्लिप्स के दिन, और द फाइंडिंग्स वी आर गोइंग टू शेयर दैट व्हाट रिजल्ट्स वी गॉट from there, and for that particular purpose we have announced this show. The topic is effect of eclipse on human body, mind and chakras. So today's show is very important. Is going to, you are going to have a very good insights from this particular program, and I'm going to announce our panel now. So first of all, I'm going to invite Dr. Anil.
Zoom the link.
I request everyone who are present on Zoom, do not unmute yourself. I request our team to lock the meeting now. Lock the meeting now. Yes. So I'm going to invite our panel. First of all, I'm going to invite the founder and director of Life Campus, founder and director of Positive Health Zone, and director of Sri Ganesh Vinayak Eye Hospital, MBBS, MS, PhD, quantum medicine researcher, holistic and lifestyle medicine specialist, Dr. Anil sir. बहुत-बहुत स्वागत है सर आपका आज के.
Thank you, Sarvesh. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir. Next, I'm going to invite Wandering Swami Mahesh ji, who is Master Yoga Consultant, Shriya Yoga Expert. बहुत-बहुत स्वागत है स्वामी सर आपका भी शो में. और a special insight, last but not the least, a very important person from Dr. Prabhakar sir, medical astrologist, founder Jyosana Vidyalaya, Chief General Secretary, Indian Forum, YSM University, CEO, International Core Committee, YSM University. So, I welcome you too, sir. बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आप तीनों पैनलिस्ट का आज के शो में. एंड आज का जो शो है सर बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है बिकॉज पीपल आर गोइंग टू हैव अ वेरी ब्यूटीफुल एंड अबाउट द सोलर एक्लिप्स. सो बिफोर स्टार्टिंग द शो I just want one insight, sir. What is lunar eclipse? And my question is from Swami Mahesh, sir. Please unmute yourself, sir. Allow.
Okay, namaste ji, and thank you for having me here in this wonderful setting with Dr. Anil Gupta and Maharishi Prabhakar ji. If I get it right, your question was what is lunar eclipse? Well, from scientific viewpoint, we know that lunar eclipse means we cannot see the luna, that is the moon. So that happens when the earth comes in between the sun and the moon, and the shadow of the earth is preventing the light of the sun to fall on the moon. That's why we cannot see the moon. Similarly, solar eclipse is when we cannot see the sun, and soon on 10th of June we'll have a solar eclipse, although not visible from India, but that is the scientific answer. Sarvesh, you are muted now.
I want to inform everybody who's watching us live that people have joined us on Zoom also. And yes, we can't unlock the meeting. We can't lock the meeting. So we need to proceed in the same manner, sir. Mute and mute, mute and mute, because there are many participants on the live show. So yes, sir. As you're wondering, Swami Mahesh ji, so I want insights in more depth, sir, about the lunar eclipse, sir.
Okay, now I'll answer from the mythological viewpoint.
Yes, sir.
That's mentioned in the Puranas.
Yes, sir.
And they are amazing storehouse of knowledge and wisdom.
Yes.
So in the Purana, we get the answer from this famous story, the churning of the ocean of the milk, Samudra Manthan.
Yes, sir.
And there is a demon named Swarbhanu. And
Yes,
he notices when finally the nectar that comes out from this Samudra Manthan, he notices that Vishnu, Lord Vishnu has taken up the form of this Apsara, this beautiful Mohini Roop. She is not distributing the nectar to the demons, to the Asuras. She is giving it only to the gods, to the Devas.
Yes, sir.
So then the story says Swarbhanu, he disguised himself as one of the Deva, and then he set in the line of the gods in between sun and the moon.
Yes, sir.
And when Mohini came to offer nectar, so he received the nectar and gulped it in, he took it in. But immediately sun and the moon, the devas, they complained that this is not one of the devas, he is one of the asura.
Yes, sir.
So Mohini came back to the Vishnu Roop and then cut off the head of Swarbhanu.
Yes.
And that is why the head part is known as Rahu and the tail part, the rest of the body part is known as Ketu. So
Yes,
this Rahu, Ketu, they are the part of the Swarbhanu, the
Yes.
demon. But because he had the nectar, he had taken the nectar in, so it's there in the head space. He
Yes.
became as powerful as the gods. So what he did, he gulped the sun and the moon, because of whom his body was dismembered.
Yes, sir.
So Vishnu had to request him, because suddenly there was all darkness. Vishnu had to request him that, look, you cannot do that. You are like a deva now. So I'll give you some special responsibilities, some nice important job, and you'll have a very important role in Jyotish also. You'll
Yes.
also have a very important function. So he, Rahu being the demon now, he said, okay, I'll let them out, but whenever I come close to them or they come close to me, I'll eat them for a moment. Those moments when the Rahu, the sun and the moon, they come close together, those are the points of the eclipse.
Yes, sir.
And they are very significant from understanding the human psychology also, and also the energy flow. So we'll come to that later, but that is the mythological from the Puranas.
Exactly, sir. Very, very beautifully explained everything, sir. And the next question is from Dr. Prabhakar, sir. Sir, please unmute yourself. And one request, I want to know your insights on lunar eclipse, sir, and the solar eclipse.
So this, Shiv, welcome to all. So before starting this, first let us understand what this Jyotisha deals with. Okay.
Yes, sir.
See, Jyotisha deals with individual.
Yes, sir.
So our Veda says Yat Pinde Tat Brahmande.
Yes, sir.
So how the universe is there, likewise our human body is also there.
Yes, sir.
So definitely, if something is happening in the universe, the same thing will also happen within me also. Means within an individual. I'm talking. So if the eclipse is happening in the universe, likewise eclipse also will happen inside the body of the individual.
Yes, sir.
So here for the eclipse, any kind of eclipse, whether that is a lunar or a solar, whatever it is. So the participant planets are minimum 4. The
Yes, sir.
sun, moon, Rahu, Ketu is common always. Sometimes other planets also will join, sometimes will not join. But these 4 planets are very much important during the eclipses. Based on this thing only, we find the effect of eclipses on individual through the horoscope.
Yes, sir.
So for the universe, the physical sun is there. But where is the sun within us? That one has to judge properly. So the sun is the soul of the universe. Likewise, the amsha of the sun is there within our body as a soul. So
Yes,
the soul is a sun for us, for any individual for that matter. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
likewise, moon is the mind within the us, within individual body. So this soul and the mind. So on this soul and mind, this shadow comes and sits. So we have to find out what is the shadows. Shadows, we are calling it as a Rahu Ketu.
Yes, sir.
So what is shadow inside us, that is important, because this soul and the mind is disturbed with Arishadvarga. These Arishadvargas, we are calling it as a shadows, and means Rahu Ketu within the body. So when this Arishadvarga, these means that is Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara. These 6 acts like a nodes. Nodes means Rahu and Ketu. When these six Kamadi Arishadvargas, their shadows falls on the soul or the mind. If it is happening on the soul, we are calling it as a Surya Grahana. And if the Arishadvargas shadows falls on the moon, we call it as a Chandra Grahana. So this is the major concept we have to deal with the astrological angle.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for your insight. We'll come to many more questions later, sir. And now I'm going to invite Anil, sir, on the wall. Anil, sir, scientifically, you found something on that day of Chandragrahan. So I want to have some insight. We'll share the results later, but I want to have some insights on that.
Yes, Sarvesh. As a medical doctor, my interest was always there from the childhood that is there any scientific effect of these lunar and sun eclipse on the human body? During my childhood, my grandmothers and grandfather, they told me that don't go outside during this eclipse and even don't take any food or water during this eclipse.
Yes, sir.
So as Swamiji and Dr. Prabhakar told the perspective of lunar and solar eclipse according to astrology as well as according to Vedic and mythological point.
Yes,
so what is the scientific in the present scenario?
Yes, sir.
Astrology and medical science, they believe that there is no effect of bad effect or good effect of these eclipse on this human body and mind.
Yes, sir.
But from childhood, I believe that they affect us because maybe they are not affecting us at the physical level, but there are metaphysical level, because we are vibrational being. We are not only human, we are human being. Human being means brain and body, the physical aspect. Being means the mind and soul. And according to quantum physics, we are vibrational being. We are made up of 5 layers of energy vibrating at different frequency. The first layer called as physical body, which is vibrating at very low frequency and higher wavelength. That is, it's visible to us and we can measure this physical body with the help of medical devices. But what about other 4 layers? The second layer called as energy body, subtle layer, which is made up of chakras and nadis. The third layer called as mind, mental body.
Yes, sir.
Is there any effect beyond physical body? So my area of interest was, what was the effect of lunar and solar eclipse on human behavior or body, and not only physical body, beyond physical body. So we had done one research on this past few days, like 26th of May. I will share you later on.
All right, sir. My next question is from Swami Mahesh, sir. Sir, like parents told us, do not move outside, do not eat anything, even do not have water during the time of eclipse. So my question to you, sir, that what are the things as you don't know about, we don't have the insights regarding that. So why this kind of teachings we were getting from our parents in our childhood?
You see, whatever is mentioned in our culture and tradition, there is some good scientific basis to it. Not in the term of modern physical science, but in the term of experiential science. Because science is about experiencing things. And when we have these eclipses, then the energy vibration that is coming to Earth, it changes. Those energy vibrations, they start affecting everything that is here on the Earth. So when our forefathers, our ancestors, they noticed that the energy vibration changes, the mental thought pattern changes. So they realized that there are certain auspicious times where everything is good, and then there are certain times when certain things should be avoided so we don't lose the energy flow.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, it can create some kind of harmful effect in terms of our body, physiology, or the psychological state. So based on that, they came up with this idea. There is, like in Jyotish, Dr. Prabhakar will also mention probably the Sutak Kal, the certain time when it is not auspicious. This
Yes,
is
sir.
when the energy vibration starts getting intense. Then there is
Yes.
the peak, and then it slowly goes off. So when the energy vibrations are not nice, then it's better to avoid contact with such energy or to eat anything that has been affected by that energy. And that is why in our tradition we say that don't eat anything during the eclipse.
Yes, sir.
There is a time mentioned. It's not during the whole day, but there is a certain time when that energy starts building up and then it's over. So those are experiential scientific facts, and whether modern science will accept it or not, it will take some time till the modern science can develop energy machines that can observe the subtle effects of what is happening in the body and the mind and the environment.
Yes, sir. We have some results regarding whatever you said right now, sir. To have some learnings, and Anil sir have done some experiments. So we will show the results later. In few minutes, we will show. My next question is from Dr. Prabhakar, sir. So, like there are protocols: do not move outside, do not eat anything during the time of eclipse. Is there any other protocol regarding eclipse? Because general protocols are not do not move outside, do not eat anything. Is there any other protocol during the time of eclipse you need to follow?
See, it is not like a protocol like that. See, why they have banned eating food, especially is, see, that food is our energy.
Yes, sir.
And we need energy to digest the food, what we take input. So these energy planets, like this, as I told you, during the eclipses, the planets, the minimum 4 planets will come in a straight line to all the 4 planets, minimum 4 planets, I'm telling. For example, if you take today's coming solar eclipse, including Mercury is also joined together. Means 5 planets will come in a straight row. This is just like pulling a rope game. So everybody start pulling each other. So during this time, anybody for that matter, suppose if 2 persons are pulling each other, they will exhibit their maximum energy so that they will not attract to the other person. Likewise, the planets also, when they come in straight line, they will start releasing their energy, heavy energy to the universe. So with that, there is chances of, it is just like so an electronic equipment is working under the condition of 230 volts. If it comes 250, 270, it will withstand. But if it comes more than 300, the equipment will burn. This is the symptom, that's all, because they are visioned. That's our ancient rishis are so intellectual. They
Yes,
knew what is going within the miniature, within the body.
yes,
So that energy, the required energy, suppose for example, I can give you an example. A person is a hunger person. He is so much hunger, he want to eat at any cost immediately. So you serve him a food. Immediately, if the person gets a phone call telling that is some parents or son or somebody has got with accident, you need to rush to hospital. He cannot eat the food even though he is hungry. This is
exactly.
called one example for eclipses. Eclipses means what was there, it was hidden with the help of the shadow. So during this time, what is happening? The negative energy will start releasing. So this, because of that purpose only, the main purpose, our ancient rishis that put a restriction: do not consume food. Be empty as much as possible. That is only the symptom. That is no this thing. So people are nowadays for anything to everything they are telling it is it's not a right way you can eat. So many people are showing their eating in during the eclipses also, they are telecasted in the TVs. But 1 or 2 persons may survive, but it is very difficult to connect it with the individual. That is why I told you very clearly, the eclipses happening in the universe, what is the effect on individual, that one has to analyze. Then only it may not hurt all the people.
Yes,
So
sir.
that is why we need to analyze the chart of the particular person, whether this person is going to affect with the help of this the negative effect of the eclipses or not. So that is where we need to study the Jyotisha properly. As Dr. Anilji was telling,
Yes,
physical body is one aspect it is going to affect. If it is not physical, then we have to check up the mental, psychological effect. The psychological body is containing of two things. One is mind and intellectual.
Yes,
So during these eclipse, coming June 10th eclipse, what is happening? So Sun, Moon and Mercury, all the three planets are coming under eclipse influence. So Sun represents the soul, is the physical body of the particular person. Moon represents the mind of an individual, and Mercury represents the intelligence of a person. When all the three are under eclipses, definitely the person is weak persons. We can call it as a weak persons. So definitely they are going to get some health problems. Their chakra alignment may go wrong. Their communication may go wrong, or they may enter the physical health. So whatever it is, so we need to concentrate on soul, mind, and intellectual.
exactly.
These are very important.
Yes, sir. Like you told that chakra alignments will, that means there will be disturbance in the alignment. Energy can be low, can be high. But we found something, and now one more question to you, Dr. Prabhakar sir, that what organs can be affected during the time of eclipse?
Yeah, this is really a good question, because one should understand what are all the organs are going to affect during the eclipses. So this is not common in all the eclipses, because eclipses will happen in different parts of the zodiac. So this time, this eclipses is happening in the Rishabha Rashi. That one has to take care of it. So as I told you earlier, this thing, Surya is the main planet responsible for soul, but Surya is also responsible for thalamus in the brain. So Chandra represents hypothalamus in the brain, and Mercury represents subthalamus in the brain. So these eclipses, it is microwave methodology. In micro system, miniature system, the brain is going to work with the thalamus, hypothalamus, and subthalamus. This is not possible to see from a naked eyes. That is what is happening inside. So you know the role of thalamus. It controls the main sensory and motor organs in the body. Exactly. And hypothalamus is responsible for the emotions and psychological responses. And subthalamus is responsible for the ability of discrimination, means identifying things. When all the three are getting eclipsed in this June 10th, there will be a problem inside the brain. Whoever has got a weak energy or not a proper energy in the brain, they may get affected with the thalamus, hypothalamus, and subthalamus. This is the portions one has to see. And coming to the Rashis under the eclipse is happening is Rishabha Rashi. So Rishabha Rashi is the throat of a Kalapurusha. We say in Jyotisham. Jyotisham we say that Kalapurusha, throat, face, and eyes especially. So these organs are very much important. One has to look into. Now, if you take a present situation, the coronavirus is affecting only throat region. And nowadays, most probably they're coming with the black fungus and white fungus. It is affecting the eyes.
Yes, sir.
And it is connected with the face. So this is Rishabha Rashi. It is represents the throat, face, and eyes. And Rishabha Rashi is also responsible for one nerve in the brain, because 12, I think Dr. Anilji knows very well compared to me, there are 12 pairs of cranial nerves are there in the brain. Is it not, Dr. Anilji?
Right, sir.
So the Rishabha Rashi represents the olfactory nerve. I think Dr. Anilji knows what is the olfactory nerves does.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Related to sense smell.
Smell. Correct. Now the corona patients definitely he is losing the smelling ability.
Yes, sir.
Is it not? So that is why this Rahu is in the Rishabha Rashi, gives troubles to the throat, eyes, and also a nose for smell. And it is going to affect the olfactory nerves. So likewise, one has to identify the Rashis where the eclipse is happening. That is important. Not always it will not give the same effect. Because this year the eclipse is happening in the Rishabha Rashi. and next year it will happen in the Mesh Rashi, because the Rahu goes anti-clockwise. So he goes anti-clockwise. Wherever that Rahu and Ketu posited, and those two Rashis only, the eclipses will happen. So the main organ connected with the Rishabha Rashi, one has to be taken care. For example, in Rishabha Rashi, there are 3 nakshatras are there. That is the Kritika nakshatra, and Rohini nakshatra, and the Mrigashira nakshatra. These 3 nakshatras there. Kritika is represented the head of the Kalapurusha. Again, it comes thalamus, subthalamus, and hypothalamus.
Yes,
Come in the picture here. So Rohini represents the forehead, and Mrigashira represents the eyebrow side, eye related things. This is also representing the problems connected with this thing. I don't know the condition in North India connected with the black fungus and this thing, connected eye problems. But in South India, it is happening. The black fungus, white fungus is giving problems to eyes and ears of the native, and many people, they have lost their sight also. So that is also one has to look into. That is connected with the Rishabha Rashi.
Thank you for the beautiful insights, sir. Swami, sir, I want to ask you one thing, that please can you explain to all the audience that what are the 7 chakras and the 5 layers of body in short, so that we can proceed with the results what Anil sir have, and people have a very good clearance from your side, sir.
Sure.
Yes.
You see, the foundation of our Vedic system, which is on the deep meditative experiences of the yogis and the rishis.
Yes, sir.
And they have looked at the fundamental dimension of our being and our connection with the universe, everything at very fundamental level. And as Dr. Prabhakar said it beautifully from the Vedas, that what is out there in the universe is also in us. We are part of the same continuity.
Yes, sir.
So we talk of the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. And then beyond the elements, there is the organizing dimension, that is the mind. And beyond the mind is the consciousness. So we can call the consciousness as the sun because it is self-effulgent. Mind is like the moon. It can shine only in the light of the sun.
Yes, sir.
A dead person cannot think. It needs the light of the consciousness. The Atma has to be there. And then what is the body? What is the entire being made up of? That is the 5 elements. So based on this beautiful understanding, the yogis and the rishis, they gave us this concept of the pancha koshas, the 5 dimensions. Those are like layers in which we are covered up.
Yes, sir.
The gross dimension is called the Annamaya Kosha, the physical body. And medical science has done a good job of studying this Annamaya Kosha. All the organs and the systems and the subparts and how they are functioning. This is Annamaya Kosha. Then there is the subtle energy movement that guides the physiology in the system, that guides our senses to connect with the information, that allows the mind to think. So there has to be some energy flow. That is the Pranamaya Kosh. The Pranamaya Kosh is the subtle dimension which we cannot see like the physical body. But without this Pranamaya Kosh, nothing can function. It's like you have a nice new car, like a Ferrari, but you don't have petrol in that, it will not move. It will just be sitting there. In the same way, our body, mind, they cannot function without this Pranamaya Kosha. This is the subtle energy vibration. Then beyond that, more subtle is the Manomaya Kosha, the mind, where all our mental processing is happening. And there are 4 organs inside the mind. They are not physical in nature, but we call it Anta Chatushta or Mana Chatushta, the 4 organs. They are Manas, Buddhi, Chitta, and Ahankar. So they are processing all the information to give us thoughts, ideas, experiences, images, guilts and regrets and desires and everything.
Yes, sir.
Then the 4th dimension, which is beyond the mental dimension, it's very subtle. Our mind connects with the body and the desires through the body into the outside world. But this 4th dimension is Vijnanmaya Kosh.
Yes.
Vijnan means higher knowledge, pure knowledge, knowledge of the universe, knowledge of our connection in relation to the universe, This is when we start realizing that we are part of this cosmic dimension. This fourth dimension is called Vigyanmay Kosh, and this is where the chakras are experienced in their true nature. This is where we understand what is the concept of Kundalini. This is where we see the universe as vibrating, pulsating, dancing energy universe.
Yes, sir.
And the fifth dimension is called Anandamay Kosh. Ananda means bliss.
Yes,
The
sir.
pure joy of life, not in relation to anything, but just the pure joy. That Anandamay Kosh, we can call it as our causal body. That we
Yes.
are born of this Ananda. But as we come down to lower vibrations and then the gross dimension, we lose our connection with the Ananda, and then we are lost with this worldly nature, and then we are lost into the material form.
Yes.
So these 5 koshas, they are also related to the 5 chakras at the lower level, and then there are 2 higher chakras. But
Yes.
the whole chakra system, we can say, is understood with the help of Vigyanmay Kosha. And now that energy machines are there, we can understand them a little better. The 7 chakras, starting from the root chakra at the lower end, is Mooladhar. Mool Adhar, the foundation. It is related to the earth element. This is where we resonate with the earth element of the universe. Earth element means the solid form of the energy, where it is condensed as matter.
Yes, sir.
The second chakra is Swadhisthana.
Yes, sir.
Swa-adhishthana, where we live, our dwelling place. So according to yoga, the rishis, they were very smart and they understood very well. If I ask you, where is your mind? Most likely you'll point here or here.
Yes, sir.
But the yogis say our mind is down there, close to the pubic bone or the tailbone.
Yes, sir.
That is the default place of the mind. Everything wants to come to its lower energy vibration. Our mind is mostly with the Swadhisthana chakra. The element is water, the flow. What is the nature of mind? To flow from one desire to another desire, from one problem to another, from one stressful situation to another. Mind is always flowing.
Yes.
The next chakra is behind the navel, Manipur, the
Yes.
city of treasure.
Yes, sir.
The element is fire. This is where we have the energy to face the challenges and continue our journey into the higher dimensions.
Yes, sir.
Then we come to the heart chakra, that is known as Anahat.
Yes, sir.
We say that the rishis were mantra drashta. Now mantras are vibration. So then we should say they heard the mantra, but we are saying they saw the mantra.
Yes, sir.
They hear the mantra through the heart chakra, and the visibility of the mantra as light, as geometrical form, that happens further up in the next chakra.
Yes,
So
sir.
the heart chakra, its element is air, flow, freedom.
Yes.
Then we come to the throat chakra. The throat chakra, known as Vishuddhi, is the purification center.
Yes, sir.
And it is here that the space element is active. Because without space, nothing will exist. Space is the most subtle element that we can perceive. We don't see space directly, we see the object and we infer that there is this much space. So space element. Beyond space comes the Agya chakra, and its element is the level of intuition. The mind that is in direct connection with consciousness. And the yogis and the rishis, they were mostly at this level, and that's why they were able to see the effect of the eclipses, the effect of the movement of the planets. So they could perceive from that higher level. This is where they become the mantra drashta. They see the form of the mantra, not just the vibration, but the form. And then the crown chakra at the top of the head, that is known as Sahasrara, a lotus with 1,000 petals, because this has to collect and gather the energy for the Mahaprana to enter and keep the individual alive, as long as there is the connection with the cosmic Mahaprana and the individual prana. There is life in this frame, in this collection of elements. When the connection is lost, the prana will merge back, and then we can call it the death. So these are the 7 chakras, 5 koshas, very fundamental to the understanding of the Vedic philosophy, and also the whole system of yoga and tantra depends on this beautiful understanding.
Yes, sir. Very beautifully explained.
Sarvesh,
Yes, sir.
I will add some more points to the Swamiji's talk. It is directly connected to his talk. Can I?
Sure.
Please, please.
Sure, sir.
Yes. Okay. Now that he has very well explained these panchakoshas and 7 chakras established in the physical body. But one thing we should understand how we astrologically find these chakras and koshas in the planetary system. So likewise, he has very well explained this pranamaya, the annamaya, pranamaya, manomaya, everything. But here one thing one should understand, which planet controls the which kosha.
Yes, sir.
So it is very relevant to the in continuity with that Swamiji talk. Okay. Now that sun represents the pranamaya kosha as per our astrological term. So prana is the main source of the person, because without prana one cannot function. Okay, that is sun represents the pranamaya kosha, moon represents the manomaya kosha, and Buddha represents the Vijnanamaya kosha. Vijnanamaya kosha means the connectivity between organs, among the organs. You can say the connectivity between organs, any 2 organs which is connected with the nerve that is controlled by Buddha. That is called Vijnana. Vijnana means the connectivity, that's all, nothing else in the body, in the human body. Vijnana means, so we see something and our leg moves to pick up this and hand is going to pick up. This is all connected with the internal nerve system. This is called Vijnanamaya kosha. So this is 5 koshas. Now in these eclipses, the sun is responsible for prana, means the basic energy, the root energy. That is because sun is also connected with the Muladhara chakra. So for that, and then moon is also connected with the eclipse. And Buddha is responsible for Vijnanamaya kosha. He is also participating in the eclipse. So when these 3 are coming and getting affected with the Rahu Ketu shadows, generally the pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha and Vijnanamaya kosha may not work in a weak personality. If you check the horoscope, you will come to know. Then coming to chakras, so he rightly said Swadhisthana, because that yogi is traveling towards the down and his mind is located in the Swadhisthana chakra. That is the Rishivakya, he says. But as far as astrologically, we say that 7 planets controlling the 7 chakras. From the Muladhara, we start and ends with Sahasrara. Sun to Saturn, we are giving this lordship for these chakras. So that is Sun is connected with the Muladhara and moon is connected with the Swadhisthana. So when these sun and moon is getting afflicted during the eclipses, definitely the base energy what is there in Muladhara gets afflicted, because that energy within the Muladhara is very much important to maintain the health of the native. So and Swadhisthana is a psychological problem. See, Swadhisthana means in Swadhisthana chakra some organs will come, means probably kidneys, uterus, kidneys, and urinary related things, everything comes.
Urogenital system.
Urinary systems, everything comes in the Swadhisthana. So, and Buddha is representing Anahata here. And rightly, when you go to Vishuddha, why I am talking from Swadhisthana to Vishuddha means, so from the unknowing, the moon is located in the Swadhisthana, which nobody knows it. When it moves to Vishuddha, it comes to the Jagrata Avastha, because the Vishuddha has contained the 16 petals. These 16 petals of the lotus in the Vishuddha chakra is represents the 16 kalas of a moon. That is also a one in the Sri chakra it comes. Vishuddha chakra has got a 16 petal lotus in the throat region. There 16 kalas are there for the moon. So everybody knows it, from Padya to Purnima Amavasya 15, and it is a Sodashi Vidya, we call it as a 16th state. Nobody knows it, only yogi knows it. What is the 16th state of your mind is an invisible thing. So when Vishuddha chakra, why I am talking of Vishuddha chakra now means the Rishabha Rashi, where the eclipse is happening coming 10th of June, is happening in the Vishuddha chakra region. This is Rishabha Rashi and Makara Rashi is control the Vishuddha Chakra as per as
Yes,
astrology.
sir.
So in Vishuddha Chakra, one left side of the Vishuddha Chakra, Saturn is posited. Right side of the Vishuddha Chakra, Rahu is posited. These two, Shani and Rahu, is controlling the Vishuddha Chakra, and the eclipse is happening. And persons are getting more problems connected with the throat region. It is 100% as per as the astrological dicta.
Thank you, sir. I must say to all the audience that these two insights were very, very important. Now you can understand there is the effect of planets, 5 layers of body, Panch Mahabhut, everything explained in very detail. Now, if you will come to see the results of this chakra, of this energy body, you will be surprised that what our Vedic science says, what right now Wandering Swami Mahesh has said, Dr. Prabhakar has said, and these connections, I'm truly amazed that our Vedic science is so beyond, there is no limit of our Vedic science. And please, Anil sir, I want to invite you.
Yes, Sarvesh.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. Now the session become more interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Swamiji and Dr. Prabhakar had shared his Vedic knowledge as well as astrological knowledge related to eclipse, related to Panch Mahabhutas, Panch Koshas, and everything. But what about these physical aspects? So, as a doctor, when I had done my MBBS, MS, after completing my MBBS, MS fellowship, I thought that I am a complete doctor. But later on, I realized that after studying these sciences, I have studied only the physical aspect. Means mind, brain, body, soul. We all are MBBS, holistic concept of human being. But after studying MBBS and MS, I studied only B and B, brain and body. The MS means the metaphysical aspects. Mind and soul are not taught even in MS, yani master in surgery. So then I studied quantum physics. The quantum physics is the missing link between the Vedic science and the modern science. Physics cover only physical aspect. Metaphysical aspects are covered in quantum physics. So this is the missing link between our Vedic science and the modern science. If we will understand quantum physics, we are again 5 layers of energy. Medical doctor studies the energy of the body with the help of ECG, EEG, but we are not able to capture the metaphysical energy. Is there any machine which we will capture the metaphysical energy? I was searching for that, and I come to know about GDV BioWell machine by Dr. Konstantin Korotokov. I will show you how that equipment work. But before coming to that, as Swamiji said, 5 elements, Panch Mahabhuta. So my hypothesis was like during eclipse, all these 3 planets come in alignment with each other. Definitely, there will be some effect of energy on the human body. Maybe it will be physical or maybe on the metaphysical, maybe the mind effect, behavioral changes.
Yes, sir.
So I was searching for the machine, equipment.
Yes, sir.
3 years back, I come to know about that equipment that measure the aura of the person, means the metaphysical energies. So what is that equipment? That is the Carilion photography advanced version. I want to show you 2 videos before coming to the studies. I have done studies with this equipment. So before coming to the study results, let's see what are the equipments, how they will measure the metaphysical effect. As moon generally affects cause tidal effect in the ocean. So our body is made up of 70% water. So that's why my hypothesis was that lunar eclipse as well as solar eclipse should affect our metaphysical aspects. So let's first see the equipments.
My name is Konstantin Korotkov, and I'm professor of computer science and biophysics in one of the leading Russian universities. It is St. Petersburg University of Information Technologies. In 1970s, I was introduced to Kirlian effect by our Russian Academy of Science. It was a committee on physical electronics that became interested in Kirlian effect. What does it mean? What's it all about? And we, our scientific group, was given an order to investigate the physical principle and to understand whether it is really scientific or it is something Google. So I was given this task. So in 1978, I was able to meet Semyon Kirlian, and he delivered a lot of interesting topics about his technology, about spirituality. From 90s, after meeting Semyon Kirlian, I became very interested in Kirlian photography, and I dedicated a lot of my professional activity to studying physical processes. And this allowed us to understand what should be done to make it stable, reliable, and reproducible. So we know physical principles of this device. We know that it works on quantum level. So we stimulate some subject, it may be human fingers, it may be water, any subject in the world practically. We stimulate with intensity electromagnetic field, and subject produces photons and electrons. The most important moment in our development, that it's not one instrument, it's not two instruments, it's not one laboratory that is using this instrument, but now there are thousands of people, practitioners, medical doctors, researchers, who are using our devices.
Welcome you all on live campus learning for life. Today's program is
So this is the device. Is the inventor of this device?
Who are using our devices.
I think from
So this is the device. Is the inventor of this device?
yes, sir.
Yeah. So one is medicine and one is quantum medicine. Medicine covers the only physical aspect of the human body. Quantum medicine covers the metaphysical aspects. So how to measure metaphysical aspect? The aura. Dr. Konstantin Korotkov has beautifully discovered this device. Aspect of the human body. Quantum medicine covers the metaphysical aspect. So how to measure metaphysical aspect? The aura. So, once again, let's see how this device works and how we have measured the chakras and aura of the person during eclipse. We have measurement, we have taken measurement before eclipse, during eclipse, and after eclipse. And what are the effects?
Sure, sir.
BioWell is revolutionizing the way we look at the human energy field. This specialized camera, combined with the powerful BioWell software, allows for quick and easy human energy scans, giving you a holistic view of your well-being. This groundbreaking system enables you to see your levels of energy, stress, and the balance of different organs and systems conveniently displayed on your computer screen.
BioWell was specially designed to help people in their well-being. It is very important in everyday life, in everyday activity.
The man behind the science and technology is Dr. Konstantin Korotkov from St. Petersburg, Russia. Dr. Korotkov has an impressive resume, publishing over 200 peer-reviewed papers on the electrophotonics field and has led research on the subject for 40 years. He holds 7 patents and is an esteemed published author and lecturer internationally. With the help of his team, he has pioneered the GDV electrophotonic technique, which serves as the foundation of BioWell.
We are talking about the notion of energy. So we can see energy redistribution on different organs and systems.
GDV electrophotonic technique allows the emissions of your fingers to be captured, registered, interpreted, and displayed for you to see.
So,
yes, sir.
We
Yes,
have
sir.
captured metaphysical aspects. Since last 4 years, I am doing research on quantum medicine. Medicine is only for brain and body. Quantum medicine is for the 5 layers aura
Yes,
of the person.
Yes, sir.
I will take you directly to the software of that equipment and will show you the results from the software only.
Yes, sir. The most awaited part
Yeah.
of this program.
Now, I'm coming directly to the results part.
Yes, sir.
Is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have done study on the 4 subjects on 26th of May. We have taken 3 readings: before lunar eclipse, during lunar eclipse, and after lunar eclipse. On that day, lunar eclipse started on 3:15 p.m. It was partial eclipse during 3:15. 5:48, it was total eclipse, and 6:23 p.m. the eclipse ended. Though the lunar eclipse not visible at Raipur, but the results were amazing. I was also surprised to see the results. First, we will see the person's energy and aura before Chandragrahan. So, first part. I will show you full screen. So, this is the person's aura before Chandragrahan at near about 1:15 p.m. Energy was 48. This was the aura. Chakras. So,
Yes.
chakra alignment was 83 and average energy of chakras is 4 to 6. Generally, according to energy medicine, the normal person should have energy between 40 to 70. Less than 40 is called hypoenergy state. More than 70 is called hyper energy state. And both are not good for health. Like hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism, hypotension, hypertension. We should have balanced energy. So 48 is the normal energy. And each chakras, we see 2 points in chakras analysis. One is the energy level of chakra and other is the alignment. So like 3.6, energy of the chakras was 5.4, 5.1. It means the alignment was 83 and average energy of chakras was 4.6. Again in the normal range. 12 meridians. According to traditional Chinese medicines, these are the 12 meridians. Some have energy in between 3 to 4 and maximum have 4 to 6. These are the stress analysis. The person has 7.3 for anxiety level. Energy was 48.49. Balance was 94.93.
Yes, sir.
This is the energy diagram. The energy should be in between this one. The optimum should be between the green zone. If energy is outside the green zone, they are hyper energy. This person have in between green zone, that means normal energy.
Yes, sir.
And according to medical science, this person have less energy in nervous system and immune system, 3.81, 3.42, cardiovascular system and head, respiratory system, endocrine system, musculoskeletal system, digestive system. They have normal energy. So these are the pre-energy, pre-eclipse data.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Now come to same person during Chandragrahan, the peak of Chandragrahan.
I must say, crowd, this is a high time because you are going to have the results now. What happened during the eclipse? During
peak of eclipse, near about 4:15, 4:50 or 5 p.m. Energy becomes 107 joule. So much high. Generally, normal level is 40 to 70. Highest level should be 70. See.
Yes, sir.
Chakras. Now chakras alignment become less, 66%. All chakras become disturbed. And yes, the average energy of each chakra is 10.8 joule. Much, much higher than the normal values. You can click on any chakras. See, 10.7, Swadhisthana. 10.8, Manipur chakra. Vishuddhi chakra, 10.6. Every chakras have hyper energy. Okay. Next part. See the analysis. Again, the stress level, anxiety level increased. It was previously 3.74. Now it become 4.01. Energy was 48. Now it become much higher, 1.07.8. Let's see the meridians. See the energy diagram. What is the optimal level? It should be into the green zone, but now it crossed the optimum level, hyper energy state.
Sir, it is at the end now. That point is crossing the limits. Yeah.
Hyper side. It's hyper side. This red line is the energy of the person. Now see the meridians. All the meridians, 12 meridians, they have hyper energy. 10.45, 10.9. Even the hypo energy, which nervous system which was in hypo energy state, that become hyper energy state.
Yes, sir.
When come to medical part, okay. Organs energy, all the organs, all the medical organ system, either reproductive, urogenital, musculoskeletal, that have higher energies. And this software have one more feature. We can compare the two. Let's see the comparatively analysis live. I'm comparing before. So I'm checking this one before, during, and post. Post means at near about 7 p.m.
Yes, sir. Means after the eclipse.
Just after the eclipse.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. So the first one is the energy before, during, and after. Clearly visible. Before was 48. During and after. During was 107 and after 95. Means when the eclipse was over, the energy was slowly decreasing, coming to the normal level. Maybe if we have done more readings, means at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., then the person may have initial readings equal to initial reading. Means the reading which were higher during the eclipse, that was little bit decreased after the eclipse.
Yes, sir.
So these are the left energy, left side 31, 80, 85. Right energy 29, 80, 84. See the chakras. Alignment was 83 previously. During eclipse, it was 66%. And after 62. Means during and after, this person have lot of effect on his chakras. See the graph. Orange one is pre, violet is the during, and green is the post.
Yes, sir.
See the energy field, hyper energy state. See the chakras, pre, during, after. Mooladhara chakra, almost disturbed, completely disturbed. Maybe the confidence of the person during post eclipse was very low, according to energy psychology. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And I was amazed and surprised to see that it is not only with the one person, it was with the all the person, same finding. Again, I am showing the same finding of the some other person. This was one subject, the second subject. Again, one girl, 22-year-old, previous, pre, 43. This is the chakras, 82% chakras, 3.8 was the energy level. Meridians level, stress level. These are the pre, see the energy level in the pre-state, very low. Few system was vibrating less than 3. But what happened during? So again, the same person during, full screen. 112. 112. Again, more on very much higher side. Chakras. Again, chakras become 84% alignment with average level of energy 11.4.
So it's crossing the limits.
All the meridians become hyper side. Again, stress become higher side, energy become higher side. See, energy level, red zone. Cross the light yellow zone, enter into the dark yellow zone. That is the much higher level. previous person have energy level 10.4 and this have energy level of 11.4, and that are very much dangerous for the health.
So this is the analysis of pranamaya kosh, like that energy body, right, sir?
Aura.
Aura.
Bio. Again, one more person. See, third person, 27-year-old female, 45 energy. Chakras was this one. This has energy status. During. See again, energy level is 103, very much higher side.
Yes, sir.
Chakras again become hyper side, 10.08. Alignment 79%. Heart chakra disturbed, too much disturbed. All the meridians have hyper energy state. Anxiety level. Again, I will compare in this software during, before, and post. Same person. Let's see the comparative results. See, before 45, during 103, after 105. After means immediately after, not too much time after.
Yes, yes.
Just completion. Means my conclusion is that during eclipse, our aura absorbs this cosmic energy and it causes hyper energy state. That may lead to disturbance in the behavior immediately or for the next 2 to 3 days, and may produce physiological effect in the long term, not immediately, because according to energy medicine, energy changes happens suddenly, but to changes into biochemical and physiological effect, it requires more than 3 months. If we have disturbed energy for more than 3 months, that will produce physiological and pathological effects. See, energy field, chakras, pre, during, and after. Analysis. See the energy level, 45 to 105. Again, this was the pre-energy state, during and after. Graph. Pre, during, after. So my conclusion is that during and after eclipse, all the persons have similar findings. If
Yes.
one have different, second have different, third have different, then there will be no conclusion. But all the person are in the hyper energy state. So in hyper energy state, because this aura and chakras are related to our physiological and psychological aspects, as Swamiji said, as Dr. Prabhakar said, each chakras is related to different organs. Each chakras is related to different emotions. So first, chakras are disturbed, energy become hyper side, that may affect mental body, means manomaya kosh, and immediate and after the eclipse, there will be psychological changes. These hyper energy state can cause accident, can cause emotional outburst, can cause any type of changes inside the body. So my hypothesis or my belief was that when the 3 planets come align with each other, there should be some effect on the physical level as well as metaphysical level. But physical level, we can measure only with the help of EEG, ECG, BP instruments and other machines. But metaphysical level, it's very clear that there is a hyper energy state in all the peoples, and that may affect psychological as well as physiological working of the human being. These are very less studies. On this 10th June, we are planning one more studies for the solar eclipse. And now we are planning on the water as well as food with the help of GDV Sputnik device, with the help of water sensor. We have some devices, that is water sensor and Sputnik, to measure the energy of food and measure the energy of environment.
So I must say, yes, sir. These results are remarkable, sir. Like I want to have the insights of Swami sir and Dr. Prabhakar sir. Let's start from Dr. Prabhakar sir. Sir, what insights you got from
Yes,
this result?
Dr. Anilji, that's really, it is very lucky to have you because as one of my friend, because modern days MBBS people are not at all doing all these type of research. For that I have to congratulate, but you have taken a lot of pain and a lot of importance. That is, everything depends on your interest.
Yes,
so it is really, I knew about this machine when I was with Chandrasekhar Tiwari ji. He has measured my this thing, all the pulses, everything. It is really a good machine to measure the metaphysical energies in the body. So to add to your findings, so let us consider the 7 chakras are the spinal. This thing we call it as a north-south pole. Okay, let us make it as a Anahata as a 0 degree latitude and longitude.
Yes.
Okay.
And bottom 90 degree south latitude. Upper 3 chakras 90 degree north latitude. Because latitude ends with 90 degree only. It never exceeds more than 90 degree. And below south means Anahata. Anahata is the normal place of working. Below 3 chakras represents the southern latitude, and above 3 chakras represents the northern latitude, and left right represents the longitude 180 degree, but it covers the 360 degree longitude. So if you measure these things, what I noticed in the 3 examples, I think you might have noticed it also, but only the bottom chakras are shifted quite far.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Bottom chakras means below the Anahata chakras are shifted during the lunar eclipse. So why means from the Anahata bottom is we astrologically say that it is a lunar portion of the person.
Okay.
Now it is coming solar, but you need to concentrate here now. Let us also have another experiment. So if it is properly proved, the above chakras should displaced more now because this is a solar.
Okay.
Now we need to concentrate on Vishuddha, Ajna and Sahasrara.
Okay.
Because that lower 3 chakras represented with the Chandra and upper 3 chakra represented by the sun.
Sun
now,
part.
The sun, solar eclipse is taking place now. So we need to we need to add this point, and while analyzing the chakra displacement, so which chakra is most drifting, that is concentrated, because last time lunar eclipse happened in Wrishchika Rashi.
Yes,
so Wrishchika Rashi is represented by this the Manipura chakra. So that is why that Manipura, Swadhisthana and Muladhara, these 3 below chakras are displaced in all the 3. But now it is happening Rishabha. That is Rishabha representing Vishuddha chakra. Most probably that Vishuddha and Agna should give more impact. That we should we have to notice it now here. That is my finding. So really it is a good effort, Dr. Anilji.
Sir, what about your opinion about hyper energy state? All the person were in the hyper energy state.
Yes, that is what that our rishis found out these things in the vision. That is because of this only, because we cannot able to see. Because for example, air we cannot see, but we can feel. Like this metaphysical energies we cannot see, but it is going to affect the working concept of the human body. So that is why rightly you have proved that is metaphysical energy in the body increases during the eclipse because more energy will be there in the outer side of the Panchabhutas. But what we are having the Panchabhuta within us, but in Brahmanda also that Panchabhutas are going to affect with the help of these eclipses. So that is definitely Yathpinda Tat Brahmanda. If you apply these rules, Yathpinda Tat Brahmanda, definitely what is happening, the excess of energy in the universe, the same thing is going to give a replica results in our body also. That is rightly you approved, Dr. Naji. Congrats.
Right, sir. Again, sir, I want to also say that the people were saying in the previous days that don't eat food and water during eclipse. I had done one small experiment during this eclipse. energy of water, energy and entropy of water before, during, and after. Before, the energy was less. During, again, the energy become hyperside. And the entropy means the organizational part, means the structural analysis of the water molecule. More is the entropy, more is the randomness.
Okay.
So before eclipse, the water is, and entropy was less. Again, after, during, and after, the entropy become very much high, means the water molecule become so much disorganized. But that is the only first experiment. I will do more experiment with the water molecule in this during solar eclipse.
So can I suggest one thing, Dr. Ji?
Sir?
What I'm suggesting, you make 3 groups to make this practical experiences. Okay. One group without food, full day without food, you take one group.
Okay, sir.
And let some people have food before Grahana, and let them take another group of with food.
Okay.
And the third group, you just give a food during the eclipses and find the result.
Good idea, sir.
During the eclipses. Okay. When the eclipse starts, they should start eating. Okay. One group without food from the morning till the eclipse over, no food. And
right, sir.
Second group, let them take breakfast, everything before the eclipse starts.
Right.
And the third one, during the mid of after the eclipse starts, after 20 minutes or 30 minutes, you give them food. Then,
okay.
Then measure the readings. Then we can compare. This will be a very good research.
Right, sir. So effect of food on the human body during eclipse.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
The person who has not taken food, the person has taken food, the person has taken food during the eclipse. Like this, 3 research you can do.
Okay.
So, thank you for your insights, Dr. Prabhakar sir. Swami sir, what are your insights after watching this research? Please unmute yourself, sir. Yeah.
Well, this was a fascinating research into the lunar eclipse and the effect on the energy and the aura. And congratulations to Dr. Anil and the team for doing this, because you see, we need to bring out what has been said in our scriptures. Now that the machines are available, this is wonderful. It's fascinating that these results are coming out. We have heard that people say that particularly women, they experience hysteria around the full moon. So if you read the old books, this is how they would treat the woman, that around full moon, they'll go into hysteria, hyperactivity. And we all know that we are 70% water in our body.
Yes, sir.
So if the moon and the sun cycle can affect the water in the ocean, again, ocean is what, around 78% of the Earth's surface is ocean. 21-22% is the land mass. Similarly, we are around 30% matter, and rest 70% is water. So how can we say that the moon will not affect me? The moon is so far. Moon is affecting everything. The planets are affecting everything within the realm of the Earth and the matter, because it's all like vibrations coming down to Earth. So very fascinating research and interesting results. So the lunar eclipse, it happens around the full moon. So definitely it's not just male, but female, everybody, they feel this hyperactivity in the water molecules in the body. And that was beautifully measured. Another interesting was that the moon cycle out there in nature, it relates to our Swadhisthana chakra. Out of all the 7 chakras, it strongly relates to the Swadhisthana chakra. In the system of the chakras, we have the water element in the Swadhisthana chakra, and its yantra, its geometrical symbol, the sacred geometry is the crescent moon. And in the Vishuddhi is the full moon, where it comes to its completion. So this is like experiencing the cycle of the moon, and then it comes into Vishuddhi. What I want to highlight from here is that our water cycle is directly tied to the moon. and the sun and the moon, they create the tides in the ocean. So that definitely creates some movement, some randomness of movement in our water in the body also. And this kind of study, as we progress, and maybe we'll, as Dr. Prabhakar rightly said, that we should create a clear research basis. So then we can find out whether what our ancestors said is right or not. Or is it just like the mental thought that you should not eat during an eclipse? So now this experiment is proving that the energy goes hyper. When the energy is hyper, if we are not able to handle the energy properly, it's again the same example, like in a 220 volt equipment, you supply 440 volt. What will happen? There'll be chances of a fuse, something will blow up. So it can happen in any organ, and that's why if they look, and there was some research also, I think it was in one of the famous magazines, scientific magazine, that the accidents, if they just graphed it, then they notice that the accidents are happening more around the eclipses and more around the full moon. So the full moon energy is very high. The mind, the mental energy goes very high. Now, I am curious about the solar eclipse now, that what will happen around the solar eclipse, because the energy of the sun is occluded. It's kind of prevented from shining brightly. So that would be interesting. I am
yes, Swamiji.
Very curious about this now.
I'm also waiting very curiously and surprisingly. When the solar eclipse, what are the results? Let's see.
Yeah, and in the solar eclipse, like Anil sir, you told, we are going to measure the changes in environment, changes in food, and changes in a person. So previously, it was like we started and we were surprised. I was able to see that excitement. So I got a call from Anil sir around 10:30, and the service see what kind of results we have. And in the midnight, I was looking forward. I was checking the results, and when I saw those results, this is seriously happening. And we are not connected to our Vedic science, what our ancestors told to us. Just we are thinking, and like you told, Swami sir, that many accidents are happening according to the survey, according to the article. And yesterday I was talking the same. Anil sir was telling me that during the time of eclipse, accidents happen. And these are the worst effect. हमें नहीं निकलना चाहिए. We can't move outside from our home. We can't. So this is amazing. I just want to tell our audience that you are going to have very good results after 10th when that solar eclipse is going to happen, and with the results. So let's hope.
Sarvesh,
yes, sir.
Just one thing, Dr. Anil.
Yes, sir.
Just being a scientific doctor, what is my observation as per this Jyotisham, Jyotish astrology? So you know that very well that I need not to explain about the lobes of the brains and the nerves of the brains, everything.
Yeah, yeah.
But what my findings is, in the out of 12 pair of nerves in the brain, that olfactory nerve is going to affect that. Can you able to do analysis for these type of things? Just find out.
Yes, sir. We can do like one is the clinical test of taste and smell, olfactory, and later on we can do neurological analysis with the nerve potential, ERG, EOG, EMG.
Another 3 things here that I will inform you. Just one is connected with nerve because this eclipse is happening in Rishabh Rashi. That Rishabh Rashi rules over the olfactory nerve, which is responsible for smell and control this thing. And regarding the brain's lobe, that is which are all the lobes it's going to affect means what is the limbic lobe?
Limbic lobe, emotional. That's called emotional brain.
And occipital lobe and prefrontal lobe. These 3 lobes are very sensitive during the eclipse. So that is what.
Right, sir. Sir, I want to interrupt you on this point. Yeah. Exactly. This observation is very true, sir, because occipital lobe is related to vision, frontal lobe, thinking, and the limbic lobe, emotions. That's why during eclipse, people become more emotional, less logical, and may affect the eyes. Even solar eclipse can affect retina of the eye at the physical level. We call it solar retinopathy, macular burn. But at metaphysical level, later on, it can affect vision also. That's why scientists also says that don't see the solar eclipse with the nude eyes. Apply filters.
Yes, yes.
So, sir, your observation is according to astrology?
No, astrology. No, this is not remain constant in all the eclipses. Because astrologically, these reflections are going to change as per where the Rahu is posited. Now, Rahu is posited in Rishabha Rashi, and this is the effect which is going to give on these 3 lobes and 1 nerve. And coming eclipses may give different readings also.
Okay.
So, what my findings as per astrologically, I told that you have to prove, because you are a scientific doctor, a perfect doctor, accepted by this modern world. So just find out if is it possible to do some pre-measures of these lobes and nerves for the groups whom you are appointing for the measurement of these chakras and all.
Right,
just
sir.
keep an eye on this nerve and 3 lobes of the brain, because as far as our astrologically says, we says that 12 lobes are there, and I don't know how much lobes are there as per your this thing.
Sir, one machine is there, functional MRI. If we will do the functional MRI, we can see the blood flow in the different lobes of the brain. And that is the authentic machine to measure the effect of meditation, as well as to measure the effect of anything happening outside, inside the brain.
But here, you have got a latest technology equipment and all, but we don't have anything. But anything to everything, we have to depend only on 9 grahas and 12 rasis.
We have to do collaboration with some functional MRI center where the functional MRI is there. Let me to search some centers.
Because this is astrological views I am giving here. Because like this only that our rishis they used to predict with the help of astrology without any machines. And we to touch the patient also here. That is one of the advantage with astrology. And we should not even sometimes maximum case we don't know who is the patient also. They will bring only the chart to us.
Right.
Predict. So likewise, just find out these 3: limbic lobe, occipital lobe, and prefrontal lobe. And what are all these working concepts? What are all the organs it is controlled by these 3 lobes? Everything you know very well. Just keep an eye, and it may help your research better.
Right, sir. So to conclude, we can say like that: microcosm, macrocosm. We are microcosm, and there is macrocosm, and there is a similarity between microcosm and macrocosm. As these planets, moon eclipse, sun eclipse, affect this macrocosm, similarly it can affect our human body also. But that effects may not be visible on physical level, but on the metaphysical level they are visible. It's a very small study, require a lot of more studies to prove this, and we require integration of medical sciences with the metaphysical sciences, so that we can utilize these Vedic science, our Vigyan, Vishesh Gyan, with the science, so that we can make this planet a beautiful place to live in and make this the quality of human life more happier and more healthier.
Exactly, sir. So thank you, sir, for your message. And I'm to complete this live session, I request Dr. Prabhakar sir and Swami sir and Anil sir to give a message to our audience what to do in eclipse in a concluded way, sir. Please, sir.
See, what I can say, during the eclipses, what astrologically we predict means during the solar eclipse, that too. So, because it is not visible in India, so need not to worry, but you can see this, but the effect will be there, definitely, because the earth is a body to the universe. Likewise, our body is the earth for the soul. So definitely there will be an impact on solar eclipse on the human body. So what we can do to neutralize this, that is why that our ancient rishis used to tell, to neutralize the high energy of these eclipses, one has to go for a japam, dhyanam and meditation mode. So with that cool mind, calm mind, with you can reduce the ill effect of these solar eclipse results. So that is why I request all the viewers, please do a meditation or a mantra chanting, or sit silently without thinking much, so that it may help you to neutralize the ill effects of these solar eclipses. That is my advice.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir. Next, Swami, sir, can you suggest some mantras or yoga asanas to people to do at that time?
You see, from astrological viewpoint, Dr. Prabhakar said it beautifully. From
Yes.
a yogic viewpoint,
Yes, sir.
as we noticed from the research also, and it has been said in the system that the energy goes hyper, it is disturbed during this eclipses, during the full moon.
Yes.
So, you know that in India, it's we follow the lunar calendar. We follow the Tithi calendar based on the lunar movement. And the Ekadashi, the 11th day, is very important because this is when the energy is shifting. So Panchami and Ekadashi, when we go on to some kind of fast or some more simple food and japa and dhyan and meditation, so that is the change period. So I think we are around Ekadashi now, and then we'll be into this eclipse phase. So it's a good idea to start now and start your daily yoga that is simple, gentle, not very energizing, because of course the energy field will be disturbed. Another thing is, you can find the mantra of the chakras from internet or from some book. Each mantra has its own Bij mantra. Each chakra has the Bij mantra. For example, Muladhara is Lam, Swadhisthana is Vam, like that. When we come to Agya, it is Om. So it's a good idea to work through the chakras, chanting their mantras 3 times each mantra. Lam, Lam, Lam. Then bring your awareness to Swadhisthana. Go into Vam, Vam, Vam. That way you integrate all the chakras together. And what will happen? That you will not have surge of energy in one particular chakra. It will be absorbed in the entire system, rather creating a blow up or fuse into any particular chakra, because we don't know how an individual will be affected by the eclipse. For that, we have to see their astrological chart. So along with the research that Dr. Anil is doing, if we can also do their astrology chart, then maybe it will be possible to predict what system or organ will be affected. And if the recordings, they show that the aura is missing on this part or the energy is very high, then it's like a future prediction. We know at least 5-6 months in advance that energy is disturbed here. So eventually it may come into some kind of problem in the physical body in that part. So if we start the correction before, so don't wait for the fire to start putting water, start preparing now. Like in English, they say, you don't start digging the well when there is fire. You have to dig the well before.
Exactly.
So we are not expecting that there'll be any harmful effect, but we have to prepare for it. And that's why it's a good idea to start now. Go into your simple yoga on a daily basis. Bring your diet down to more simpler, less spicy food. And then you'll notice that you actually enjoy the eclipse effect. There's nothing wrong with the eclipse. They happen every year. Sometimes they happen twice in the year. So this eclipse is happening. How we can prevent ourselves from plugging into that energy that is going through the disturbance? For that, we have to understand the flow. And the flow we experience through our 2 nostrils. The sun flow is in your right nostril. The lunar flow, the moon flow is in your left nostril. So how to create a balance, how to align the chakras. Then all these energy vibrations, they'll be like waves passing over you, but you are not affected because you have learned how to swim better. So my advice is, if you don't start now, at least on the eclipse day, stay with simple food, simple diet. Avoid the time when you are not supposed to eat during the eclipse. And also, do your simple yoga, whatever you know. Do even 5 minutes meditation after your asana pranayam. Maybe you'll have some deep insight into this energy flow and how they connect to our stories from the Upanishads, from the Puranas. Something interesting might come up. So don't fear the eclipses. They keep on happening every year. So don't fear the eclipses, right?
Yes, sir.
Prepare yourself and there'll be no problem.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Anil, sir, your message to people.
My message is like that.
Yes,
21st century is the century of information and technology, but both are overloaded. Authentic information lacking everywhere. Technology overloaded. That's why 21st century have become the century of sad pandemic, stress, anxiety, depression, and diseases. Solution is integrate Vedic sciences with the modern sciences.
Thank you,
Add
sir.
metaphysical sciences to the physical science. Because ultimate, what we require healthier, happier person. And these information and technology, they are creating more stress, anxiety, depression, and diseases. So a lot of new researches are required on these aspects, how to integrate Vedic sciences with the modern sciences in a more logical, scientific way.
So as far as
Dr. Anilji.
yes,
Sir.
Is it possible to collect the astrological data from the people whom you are putting under experiment?
Yes, sir, we can.
You please collect the data.
Okay.
And as per the group, with food, without food, and during the eclipse food.
Okay.
And one more group, because you are coming under psychoneurologics meditation mode.
Yeah.
One group under meditation, psychoneurologics meditation, especially throughout the eclipse, and find their measurements, whether they are going to affect or not. You will come to know.
Okay, sir.
During the eclipse, okay.
Right.
And my one suggestion during eclipse, instead of chanting mantras, because mantras are also generating energy. If the person doesn't know how to utilize the energy is originated with the help of mantra, it is giving a bad effect on this thing. Instead of that, Nadi Shodhana Pranayama is a very good technique. As that our Swamiji is also told that Ida Pingala is managing that coming this Sushumna into a normal. So,
okay.
To neutralize this, Nadi Shodhana Pranayama trick is very highly appreciated and very apt at that moment to have this Nadi Shodhana Pranayama during the eclipse. So,
right.
Just insist all the people whom you are telling, let them do this Nadi Shodhana Pranayama. So, because there is no Varnakshara is involved, because Varna is also generating some energy. And some people may not knowing how to restore the energy which is produced out of this mantra chanting. That may give another negative effect. Instead of that, let them go for a silent meditation. It is especially the managing of Ida Pingala, control the Sushumna, Nadi Shodhana Pranayama.
Okay, sir. Noted.
Okay. So thank you, Prabhakar sir. Thank you, Swami sir. And thanks a lot, Anil sir. Those people who are on Zoom, stay with us. And we are going to leave the live session from Facebook. I just want to conclude one thing, that during the time of eclipse, body is having a hyper energy and water is also having a less entropy. So if in combination, you will get a worst effect if you are consuming anything, if you are going outside, environmental energy and then the body energy. So yes, there is a high chance to have more disturbance or to have the accident. What we got as a conclusion now. So as far as from this show, don't go outside at least at the time of eclipse. Don't eat anything. And if you want more insights, then have that Nadi Shodhana, Pranayam and meditation during the time of eclipse to cool down your Shushmana, to cool down your energy stations, to have better health at the time of eclipse. Take some good things from eclipse. So thank you to all the panelists. Thank you to everyone who is watching, who are watching this show. Let's meet with the results of solar eclipse also very soon. So thank you. I'm going to end this live, and those who are on Zoom, please stay with us and you can ask questions. So thank you everyone who
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Namaskar.